Welcome to Shop Talk, where you get my honest opinion on current events, life, and sports. Let's get into it. I see the Browns name Deshaun Watson to start over Shador Sanders. I think a lot of us kind of saw this coming, especially with the big cap number that he has. I think he's at 41 or 46 million. These owners, they want to hire coaches, they want to hire GMs, but they still don't want to listen to anyone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it seemed as though he's mad that Andrew Berry drafted Shador. From what my understanding is, because Shador was not a fifth round draft pick. So I know, just like everything else, the black man gotta earn it. You could see Deshaun Watson is a shell of himself. He's definitely not the same player he used to be for the Houston Texans. He had the record-breaking contract, was totally guaranteed for $230 million. A lot of owners were mad at the Haslams because it's like that's the new precedent. You said it. You said I should say. And so they was like, why would you give a guy $230 million guaranteed? So I guess he figured you're not sitting on a bench and I'm gonna pay you just to show up. That's we know how it go. We know how it go. I saw when Andrew Luck retired, normally when you retire in the middle of a contract, the team does have the right to ask for the money back. But they told him, man, you keep the money. We wish you the best and everything. I think they made Michael Vick pay some of his money back, Philadelphia, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like when it comes to us, we always got to get the bad end of the deal. I don't think it never was a competition at all. It's just another effort to undermine Shador. That's all this is. And so one thing I know about Shador, he's resilient. This is his time. And so the owner, to me, Shador really has a case against the NFL for collusion. But I know it's a lifelong dream of his to play in the NFL, like many other guys that's in the league. So, but if we looking at this more of a discrimination case like they have going on against Brian Flores right now. He has a discrimination lawsuit going on against the NFL. You got John Gruden with a lawsuit against the NFL where he could reveal all the emails that the owners talk about. You know who they talking about. I said it the other day on my ex. The NFL draft and the NBA draft is nothing but an auction. That's exactly what it is. They just changed the name of it to make it not sound so harsh. It's the same thing y'all had the Civil War about. It's nothing but an auction. You think about it, even when they sign the contract, they have to tell you the amount that they gave them and all this stuff. That could play on someone's psyche, And so the more money they give, the more enticing it is to the little leaguers, the high schoolers, the college players. Oh, man, they getting away that kind of money, And so that's the thing about it, man. Black people always got to go through. So I know Shador gonna keep his head up. I'm looking for Shador to be playing probably the third, fourth game, if that. Because, he don't do nothing but check the ball down. I saw when he got in the game, and I think that was sad. The whole stadium booed him. These people are paying their hard-earned money in this horrible economy we're living in. To me, I think we're in a recession, heading towards a depression. So people are still able to scrape up a few dollars that they have just to come see a preseason game. And now you have NFL games, I know a lot of people saying that the country is hurting, but people still buying stuff. People still being able to afford tickets. People still being able to do what they want to do. So Shador gonna keep his head up. We all knew this was gonna go like this. They were sabotaging him since day one. Even all the analysts I seen, like everybody's kind of shocked, but it's like, man, every time we try to tell y'all about certain things, you know, people don't listen to us. It's like, oh man, black people always think they know everything. You know, we always get that inkling feeling like, man, it's not really no competition, but that's just something they putting out to the public. Maybe they like the attention. He wasn't gonna never let him sit on that bench and make $46 million. You know, that's the thing. You know, they have all the capital. They have everything. They rigged the game in their favor. They're actually living better than us on our own planet. I don't know. I think this past week was the week to dunk on black people, by black people. I saw when InvestFest, Earn Your Leisure, and them, whatever they have, he was saying, like, man, I'm tired of the black people. It's a man from Morocco. He went in, said how I'm not doing the black thing no more and all this stuff here. Then you had, what is his name? Master P the other day. Telling black people you need to get over slavery and all this stuff here. I mean, I like to know, when did slavery end? Oh, you talking about on paper? That's what you're saying? Everybody's still overworking, underpaid. So I'm trying to figure, when did it end? Like this week or something? Because last I checked, the dollar is enslaving everyone. I don't care where you're at on the totem pole, rich, wealthy. The dollar is enslaving everyone. So I'm trying to figure, when did slavery stop? You just was saying you was going to be suing Walmart for discrimination, which is cereal. You said it was putting your cereal behind all the other brands. So I'm trying to figure out, P, what was because you know why? A lot of people in this season, you're going to go through for exploiting people. You know, that's what a billionaire does. That's what a lot of you millionaires do. Y'all exploit people. Even on a lower level, even if you're in the workforce, everybody is exploiting the less fortunate. You don't care how you get yours. You don't care that people did it with their own physical labor. That's why people is going through like they're going through right now. People burnt out. A job is burning people out. You know, you do a 5-day work week, then you get your 2 days, then you're back at it again. People are burnt out. And so I'm trying to figure out, what election results gonna do for humanity when they're already showing you that both parties are in cahoots. Look at the clown Hakeem Jeffries this week. You know, you meeting with Jared Kushner. You know, the Kushners that supposed to be buying the Lakers, that's involved in some kind of it's always corruption with them people. Maybe it's a LA thing right now, because I mean the Clippers, Pablo exposed them for the last 11 months, and people got mad at Pablo for exposing the Clippers, and Kawhi Leonard for circumventing the salary cap so they could sign him, and he had side deals where it's not even on like paperwork. So how y'all get mad at Pablo for exposing corruption? But I said it, the new opioid crisis is sports gambling. So people don't care what happened and this and that. They just worry about gambling. I think they say people lost over $600 billion in gambling last year. Why? Because people just looking for a way out of this system. This system keeps people in survival mode, when you can't live how you want, you're suppressed, you're dealing with this, you're dealing with that. Fast as you get your money, it's gone. It's not really your money. You know, people just burnt out. So I can imagine people just saying, man, if I just hit this one time. And what happens is that's how habit starts. It's just like a crack habit. You're trying to chase that first high. So that's how habits are going on. And people just trying to find a way out this system. The only way out this system is for it to burn down. That's the only way. These people are going to atone for what they've done. You know, so whoever you doing business with the enemy or evil, all that, it's all going to get exposed. You know, I saw early in the week, the NABJ gave Stephen A. the thumbs down award. Everybody just, you're not paying attention to what's going on because you're so concerned about rubbing elbows with the demonic entity. God left everything in place to see what would we rather have. Everything was put in place to see what we rather have. That's what a free will for. No, he could have made it a perfect world. But he said, let me see what you rather have. Everything about this world is fake. The money, the everything for the scams and everything for his mortgages and credit cards and all this stuff here. All that stuff is a way to keep people in on the wheel that the hamster is on. Keep us running in place. That's exactly what it is. You're 40 trillion in debt. Imagine that. But he bankrupted 6 casinos. He filed for bankruptcy 6 times. I think he bankrupted 5 casinos or something like that. So you think about it. So credit was never real. It was only implemented in 1989 because it was a way for people to stay at a certain threshold. People were thriving. You gotta understand. I think before the Great Depression, black people, they was thriving. They had over 600 businesses. They had their own bus companies. So they had to find a way to like, okay, we went through the civil rights thing, NAACP and all them on them people payroll, the CIA, the Black Caucuses. You still was with misogyny even back then. You know, black men was making sure black women didn't have a voice. Women weren't even able to vote till after 1970. They had their own way. It's just like they were still, imagine a woman being part of the civil rights movement and she still can't vote till like, what, 5 or 10 years later. You see what I'm saying? It's always been women and kids that haven't been protected. Women and kids. But they keep us distracted with different things. It's so much it's not going to be easy deprogramming a civilization because everybody still don't care. You know, grids are going down and everything. That's the sign of end times. Hell, in New Orleans the other day, I woke up this morning to bring my son to school. It's chilly outside. We are in the signs of end times. Look at what they're doing in Gary, Indiana, Memphis, Tennessee. I told people, black cities, predominantly black cities, have to be on high alert. They trying to kill as many people as possible. That's the goal, to keep us all in the dark, the whole country, so they can make decisions on people's lives, you know? And that's why time is so shaky, because they play with the time. Everything that's going on is in speaking the Bible, the Ethiopian Bible. The King James Version that Bible is for white supremacy rule all over the earth. You people know what's coming to y'all. And the sad thing about it is you're not giving nobody a warning because you're so evil. They devils. These people are not human. So when you tell people that, you say, what do you mean? I'm looking at a human being. No, you're not. They were fallen angels and all kind of stuff that they mingle with humans. So they literally could, I believe we're dealing with a lot of clones. God said 80% of them clones. Like I said, we could be living in a perfect world, but God let everything be in place to see what y'all rather have. What would you rather do? The test for humanity is how we feel about each other. It ain't got nothing to do with no job, no money. How do you feel about the next human being? Our needs have to be met. You know, we've been programmed to live a certain way. That's something we inherited. Nobody's not dumb. We all finding out things we didn't know. So the best information is either here in the book or we exchange it with each other. That's how I've been finding out so much. We exchange information with each other. All these same phones that we own, you just Google it. Now we know everything ain't gonna be truthful because we know it's been tampered with and everything else. They know who we are and what we possess. It's something they don't have. So they never gonna tell us the truth because this earth belongs to black people. Ain't no white people in the Bible. They keep the hate and the division and all that going on when people gotta realize, man, you going about your life, hate someone because of their skin tone, not realizing y'all have more in common than you think. But one thing they have done, they make sure you got to keep a certain class, or you at a certain threshold where you can't thrive. And once people that look like me, you know, they start bumping elbows and they start making these millions of dollars, they forget where they come from. And what they do is they spit them up and chew them right back out. Look at what they doing with Jay-Z. Look at that picture where they released The Weeknd with he's gripping his oldest son's mom, but she's underage. Nothing is by coincidence. They're devils. They got dirt on everybody. Look at you show his wife sitting on the guy's lap. She don't look like she no more than about 15 or 16 years old. You know? It's a dog-eat-dog world. And so that's what people, that's the kind of time that they're going to always be on. They know what's coming to them. You know, with the global darkness and everything, that's going to be judgment upon us all. You know, that's what they say, get your affairs in order. You know, I just saw before I got on my phone, 41 days of barrels of oil left. That's it. You know, once you run out of oil, you know, stock market going to crash. That means 401k gone. They use your money to play with to use the stock market and do that. That's why I say everything digital. Everything is digital. Look at what's going on in Gary, Indiana. Money is useless when the grid is gone. When the grid down, money is useless. Debit card, none of that don't work because there's no internet. There's no electricity. In order for something to run, it has to have a grid to run off. The greatest currency right now walking this earth is a human. Yep. That's the greatest currency walking this earth right now is a human. But like I've said on multiple occasions, women gonna save humanity. Women gonna be the leaders of humanity. Think about all the trauma men have put women through. Never protected women and kids. So you gotta realize it has to happen. Atonement has to happen. That verse in the Bible, you reap what you sow. That's a real thing. That go for us all. And like I said, we all flawed, but you should know an evil person when you see it. That shouldn't be hard to do. But I'm believing, you know, disclosure and everything, it's going to be about religion. Notice how they still haven't, because that's what keeps people divided. It's only one God. It's only one God. The Vatican is behind everything. In the King James Version, you got 66 chapters, but in the Ethiopian, that's 88. It's a lot. So it's religion. It makes 2 points. It's a $1 trillion industry. Just like black people spend 2.7, I think that industry makes $7 or $8 million a year, $1 trillion a year. Everything leads back to the Vatican, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. So when you hear people like P talking about slavery is over and we need to stop talking about that, P, you was so busy exploiting people. You didn't have time to do your research and find out why is it only this one group of people that looks just like me and you been hated globally for centuries. No shoe company should be running without black ownership. Michael Jordan made Nike. He should be the owner. Allen Iverson and the Hot Boys helped Reebok. Allen Iverson should be the owner. Adidas was T. Mac and them. We shouldn't have, Ye could be at a Nike or Adidas. He helped both of them. Nike just didn't want to give him his royalties. And the same thing with Adidas. So Ye went back to the lab. Like, I'm gonna make affordable clothing and shoes. And that's what he's doing. He's literally making affordable clothing and shoes. As far as people, man, you back. Listen to that dude. That's why people don't like coming forward with certain ailments. You hear people say certain things out their mouth that's not normal by them. You're not realizing, man, they having an episode. If you watch Gucci Mane interview, his wife say one of the first things she take is his phone. Get all the people he had to apologize to. So imagine what he tells her when we have an episode. She wouldn't. You can't tell the world what he actually says because it's some of the most evil things. Just know when he have an episode, it's bad. Just like anybody else. When you're dealing with mental issues, you say some of the most evil things that you wouldn't normally say. That's your mind. It's rattling. I hate for somebody to play with me because, man, I just be wishing I'd be in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So that's years of trauma you have suppressed. When I look at them people in Indiana and look at Memphis, stuff like that, it just remind me of when Bush declared martial law on us Katrina victims. And I got to General de Gaulle and his boat of cops pull up on us with rifles on us. They had like 12 rifles told us, we're no longer arresting y'all, we killing y'all. That's exactly what was told us. I never forget that long as I live. So we don't realize we living amongst demons. But God gonna have the last say so. Ain't nothing money could do for us at this stage right now. Ain't nothing. Really, people could really stop going to work. Because the global economy is going to trash. And the sad thing is, both parties still talking about an election. Because you got to keep, you don't want people waking up and realize what's really going on. So you keep them running in place like the hamster. Oh man, that's a distraction. They don't know what they talking about, right? Grades going down every day. So it is what it is. Black people we gonna get what's due, and even the ones that's we all gotta be judged. Judgment coming for us all. So once again, compassion for one another, making sure we helping one another. You don't never know what somebody could be going through. It might be a few words of wisdom or encouragement to help them along the way. We're not each other enemies. The government has always been an enemy. So I'm signing off. Like, follow, and subscribe at YouTube at Shop Talk 84, on Instagram as contact_CEO, KONTACK_CEO. That's on X as well. That's contact_CEO, KONTACK_CEO. And